Assetto Corsa EVO is, quite frankly, cavernously empty as we await the likes of multiplayer, single-player progression, car tuning, and free roam. However, it does have a trump card at this early stage: insane car model detail. Here are around 20 items you may have missed. Now, things are about to get nerdy, as the Customisation development team must be the gaming equivalent of automotive journalists James May, Jason Camisa, and Davide Chironi combined. ChatGPT says it would look like this. Pretty handsome. This isn't a full list of every single special animation or customization option. It is instead the highlights, a tantalising teaser of what this title could still become. There are many games that allow you to flash lights or turn on the windscreen wipers, and that's no exception in EVO. In the dealership, you can even switch on just the side lights, then the main lights. At the rear, clicking on rain will switch on what's commonly referred to as the fog light too, for the models that have one at least. A similar multi-stage process has been created for the wipers too, allowing you to click 3 different speeds. The detail doesn't stay in the showroom either. On track, if you have a heavy collision, you can brake the steering system. One wheel can point in the opposite direction to the other, causing a pretty calamitous moment. The trackside marshals will wave the orange and black meatball flag as you desperately try to crab back to the pit lane. Another detail that happens when you get things wrong is the dashboard lights flaring up when you stall a car. Each model has the matching starting procedure lights too. And then we move on to the car-specific traits. The racing cars in EVO so far all seem to have the option of adding bright LEDs around their body, from the roof-mounted aerial to the side pillars to within the front grille for the Mercedes. Very Nürburgring 24 hours, and you can select any shade from the colour palette. Speaking of race cars, if you add the Race Logic timing device to the interior, it's functional on track, providing your lap time. What isn't functional yet in our testing is the Lumirank position display counter. In the real world, this will light up with the real-time position, but in EVO, against the AI at least, it's blank for now. This next one seems like an aesthetic-only quirk presently, but it is mega attention to detail. Scroll through the unending list of button assignment options and you will eventually find Performance mode. Assign a button, then go to the track in a modern performance car such as the Ferrari 296 or Lotus Emira. In the latter, pressing this button will see the car switch through its real-world drive modes: Tour, Sport, and Track. You can see changes to both the central screen and also the driver's display, representing each mode, although we don't think it changes the performance of the vehicle in any discernible way just yet. Other vehicles with a similar setup include the Hyundai i30N and the Lamborghini Huracan STO. One of the Hyundai's drive modes even brings up real-time telemetry and temperature information on the main screen. Speaking of infotainment displays, the electric Alfa Romeo Junior Veloce screen is playing a track over Bluetooth called Milano Vibes. This is perhaps pertinent, as when this compact SUV was announced back in 2024, it was originally called the Alfa Romeo Milano. The badges had been made, the press releases typed, and the website formatted. But the Italian government had other ideas, insisting that for a product to be named after something Italian, it must be produced in Italy. Milano, or Milan, is of course a famous Italian city up in the north, and the Milano was produced in Poland. Yeah, one hasty rename later, and now it's known as just the Junior, but this music track is a little reminder of the original plan. When inside, you can also change the ambient lighting colour, which in the Junior looks to only be the air vent surrounds. But in the Volkswagen Golf GTI Club Sport, changing the lighting hue has a noticeable effect on the interior ambience at night. Thanks to the recreation of many LED light strips, you can make it look like a nightclub, only without the drinks, or John Summit. Something that is less frivolous is the selection of wheel options. One is called the 40th Anniversary. Now this is a nod to an actual limited run version of the Mark 8 Golf to celebrate 4 decades of GTI hot hatches, in North America at least, and it was based on this Club Sport spec. In Europe there was also an edition 45 with the same wheels. So while the specific anniversary model isn't in EVO, you can effectively recreate it by bolting on a set of these rims. Speaking of quick hatchbacks, the final version of the pugnacious Lancia Delta HF Integrale, a model created for World Rally Championship homologation purposes, was known, although not formally, as the Evoluzione and nicknamed the Deltona. A small update in 1993 was branded the Evoluzione 2, and save for a few dealer and market-specific special editions, that was the end of a car that originally started life in the 1970s and took the Italian brand to 6 consecutive WRC titles. Assetto Corsa EVO has the base Evo 2 model, plus 6 of the run-out specials with cosmetic tweaks. But it also has a very special, one-of-a-kind delta that showcased what could have been if production had continued just that little bit longer. Within the car selection screen, you may notice the Lancia Delta HF Integrale EVO 3 prototype, and we believe this is the first time this model has been officially featured in any sim racing title. While the company never called it an EVO 3, this model is identifiable by the unique viola paint colour. It was created by Italian coach builders Maggiora, who late in the Integrale's life was producing the road cars under contract for Lancia as its parent group Fiat moved away from the model. This prototype existed for a pitch to Fiat to try and convince it that production should continue. The upgrades included 1-inch larger wheels, 17s instead of 16s, between 237 and 250 brake horsepower instead of 215, depending on which report you read, revised suspension, and a fluid-based Visco-drive front differential. Sounds expensive. Sadly, the answer was a firm no, and this variant never made production, very much a case of what could have been, but you can at least test the only example in the latest Assetto Corsa. When selecting a Delta Integrale to race, if you switch between the EVO 2 variant and the EVO 3 prototype, as the latter model has updated suspension settings, you can see that it sits a few millimeters lower as you flick between the models in the menu. This is also true of the Toyota GR86 sports car. The premium model visually sits higher on the ground than the Trueno and Hakone special editions. One detail that doesn't affect performance is the humble sunroof, still available on some cars, although generally usurped by the fitment of air conditioning these days. For the models with one, you can open and close them even while on the move. Once again, visit the exceedingly long list of mappable items within the menu and find optional animation. This can do a variety of things, but in our testing, mainly sunroof related. You can also test this when static in the showroom by visiting the animation menu. In the Ford Escort Cosworth and Alfa Romeo Jr, this opens the sunshade but not the glass, and then for something like the Audi RS3, the full pane will tilt and slide for further fresh air, although not sure how much use virtual fresh air is anyway. Working in a similar way to the Audi's glass, again using the optional animation button on the Ferrari 296, it extends or retracts the subtle rear spoiler. While not adjustable on the fly, the aforementioned Lancia also has an adjustable spoiler. You change the angle in the showroom, although in the EVO 3 trim, when you go to drive it, it defaults back to the low setting presently. Have you found any more examples for the optional animation button? Let us know in the comments below, along with any other small details we may have missed in this video. We're sure more will be added with each subsequent early access update. I hope you're all enjoying this video. Just a quick message though for those of you using Fanatec equipment. Maybe you're looking to upgrade, maybe you're looking for new peripherals. If you use the affiliate link down in the description below, it will take you to the Fanatec website. It won't make a difference to your experience, but what it will do is help support this TraxionGG YouTube channel and of course our website. And that will help us make more content like this in the future. Back to the video. A more fundamental change is the available gearboxes, and no, we don't just mean switching it from automatic to manual for you, the sim racer. We mean modelling different pedal boxes, shifters and paddles on a model-by-model basis. Back to the Lotus Emira, if you select the touring specification, you receive a 6-speed manual transmission with an appropriate lever and 3 pedals, plus matching driver animations. But selecting a sport trim sees the car equipped with a paddle shift automatic, with the necessary drive selector and shifters behind the wheel. You can then also option in the intelligent precision shift to switch a manual car to automatic. Other models have the manual and automatic swap too, such as the Hyundai i30N. The standard edition is a manual, the Drive-N Limited edition is a dual clutch auto with paddle shift. There are a host of customization options available, all in line with real-world options, such as the ability to change not just the brake caliper colour, but the shade of the written script, seen here on the Alfa Giulia GTM. On this model, if you change the seatbelt colour, the material door pulls also change to match. On the older original Giulia Sprint, you can add on an auxiliary lamp pod. And fun fact, Kunos co-founder and executive manager Marco Massaruto actually owns one of these cars in real life. Yet another feature on the Lotus Emira is the ability to flip open and close the starter button cowling, while the radio in the Honda NSX-R reads "Drive You Tonight" in a typically 1990s digital readout. Sometimes it also says "Piscicide Pond," which is frankly bizarre, as that's a way of killing fish as far as I'm aware. Don't ask me, I have no idea. Speaking of the NSX, it even has pop-up headlights. There's a way of mapping the buttons so that you can pop without the lights switching on. This is often possible in road-going cars with pop-ups as a way of allowing owners to clean the lights without dazzling themselves, but why that's possible in a game is beyond us. other than just cool details. And to end things, a quick scroll through the Mazda MX-5 NA customization options reveals an engine swap option, or at least we think it does. The thing is, this generation of MX-5 started life with a 1.6 litre engine before being upgraded to 1.8 litres later in life. In EVO, we can't currently find a way of seeing engine capacities or stats, so it's hard to tell what it comes with, as the only descriptor is facelift. Either way, you can opt for a 1.8 litre engine as an option, but then 2 further tuned versions. The BBR is significantly more potent than standard, and the first signs of a form of engine tuning in this game. Just as well, you can also modify the gearbox, differential and suspension to match, as it's wayward without these. This car is very much a hint at where EVO is going next. Are there any other cool details in Assetto Corsa EVO that we haven't mentioned in this video? Let us know down in the comments below, and subscribe to the Traxion channel if you don't want to miss future videos about AC EVO and of course every other racing game under the sun. That's it for me today, so until I see you next time, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.